Today I want to talk to you about why your feedback score is important and it might open your eyes a little bit to a few things that you might not have thought of before, because obviously we know our feedback score is important, but maybe there's some things that you're going to learn today about why your feedback score is important and why you should try to protect it as best as you can. If you've been selling on Amazon for any amount of time, you know how slow it takes, how long it takes to get some feedback. Sometimes it feels like I have to sell 100 items before I finally get one or two feedback scores. And so it's like it takes forever. And so when you do get a negative feedback, you're like, oh man, this took my 100% rating down to like 90% just from one, just because it's slow going at first. But of course, the more items you sell, the more momentum that you get, then your feedback score can start to improve. But today I want to talk to you about four reasons why you should be protecting your feedback score. Number one is feedback is important to your customers. Now this might seem really obvious, but it's so true. Feedback's important to your customers, and they think about and understand feedback differently as a customer than we do as sellers. It's like we know we've had hundreds of sales that have been really good and happy customers, but if a customer goes and sees your feedback when they're trying to choose which product I'm going to buy, and they see like, oh, you've got like a 97 feedback score. That's like 3 out of 100 that are negative experiences. I don't want to be one of those 3 out of 100, even though it's not really, a 3% negative feedback situation out of a 97% positive, score. Customers sometimes see it that way, and they're like, if you're like feedback is 95%, the customer's like, man, I got a 5 in 100 chance to have a really bad experience with this person. I'm going to go for the person who's got 99% or 100%. And even me as a customer, I will pay a little bit more to buy from somebody that has 100% positive feedback than someone who has, say, 99 or 98 or 97. I mean, it's all psychological. And so protecting your feedback score and trying to do your best to have a 100% feedback score is really important because it's important to your customers. Number two, it's important for winning the buy box to have a great feedback score. Now, Amazon does not disclose their algorithm for figuring out who gets the buy box, but one of the factors is feedback score, how well you're going to treat their customers. Amazon wants to be the 100% most customer-centric website, platform, sales, store in the history of the world. And so they want to be the most customer-centric, and so they want their customers to have the best experience possible. And so the better feedback score you have, the more percentage of the buy box you're going to get. So it's important to the buy box for you to have a good feedback score. Number three, it's important to wholesalers. Now you might be thinking, Steven, I don't wholesale yet. Well, this is something that you might be interested in later down the road, but if you're wanting to open up a wholesale account and you're talking to wholesalers and Amazon comes up and they're like, hey, well, let me see your Amazon store page, and the wholesaler goes and sees that, oh, they have 95% feedback score or 97% feedback score, man, I might not want to work with them because they've got some bad experiences. And some of them might understand that score is not a true reflection of how good you are as a seller, but some of them might not want to sell to you because they see that your feedback score isn't perfect or just a hair underneath perfect. And so it's important to start now to make sure you protect your feedback score right now before you might decide to grow later in the future to have wholesale as a part of your business. So that's the third reason it's important to protect your feedback score. And the fourth reason, it's because feedback is important to your business. It's important to your livelihood if you make a living on Amazon, or even if rely on Amazon as a solid side income. Because if you start getting negative feedbacks and your score starts going down, especially if you have negative feedbacks on the same item, say you send in 20 items and you get 3 or 4 negative feedbacks from those items, Amazon's gonna could possibly suspend you from selling that item, or worse, suspend your account indefinitely until they can figure out what's going wrong that's causing all these negative feedbacks. So you want to make sure that you protect your account as best as you can, and it's really important. And we've got a few blog posts on our blog, fulltimefba.com. You can go check them out. There's a whole blog post about how I keep a 100% feedback score. The things that I do to keep a 100% feedback score. One of the things that we do is we use Feedback Genius. Feedback Genius is an awesome service that costs very little, that does a lot. They basically send an email out to your customer the day they're going to receive their item, telling them, hey, you're going to get your item today, and if you like it, we'd like some positive feedback. And if not, send us a message and we'll try to fix whatever went wrong. And if they don't leave feedback that day, about 5 or 6 days later, you can have them send another email. Hey, 5 or 6 days ago, you got your package in the mail. We hope you liked it. And if things went great, could you leave us some positive feedback? Here's a link. And if things went wrong, let us know so we can make things right. It's really good. And Feedback Genius also, when I get a negative feedback, they immediately text me. And I get this message on my phone saying, oh, hey, I got a negative feedback or a neutral feedback. Which I hope you know, a neutral feedback of 3 is considered negative by Amazon. So you want to make sure that you try to contest any feedback that's rated 3. But I'll get a text from Feedback Genius saying, hey, you just got a negative feedback. And immediately I go in, try to see if I can get it removed or contest it. Because sometimes it's a product review. And you can just tell Amazon, hey, this is actually a product review and not a review as me as a seller. Can you please remove it? And there's other opportunities that are out there to remove feedback also. So check that out. And we want to be sure that we protect our feedback at all costs for those reasons. That customers, they want to buy from people that have really great feedback. We want to make sure that when the buy box more often, we want to be sure that wholesalers see that we are reliable sellers. And also our Amazon business desperately needs really good feedback in order for us to continue that line of work. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you scroll down below, you can like this video, leave a comment, a question, find links from this video. I encourage you to do that. And I also encourage you to go to fulltimefba.com if you're wanting to learn how to turn part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA. I will see you fulltimefba.com. Thanks.